Hi guys, Piotr here. This is LiteFinance Global YouTube channel, and we are about to discuss the trading chart patterns. Well, basically, if you know me, then you may expect that I'm going to add some twist, because when we are talking about the basic stuff, it's available almost everywhere when you are going to try to search. If you are looking for some twists, then it comes harder to find some kind of the twist. But of course, guys, as usual, I strongly encourage you, do your own homework, do your own research. Again, if you know me, then you got the knowledge that I'm trading without technical indicators, right? I'm basically watching what is going on when it comes to the price, and I'm trying to trade off the price, and that's how I do the things for 20 years plus already. Now, of course, it was not super profitable at the very beginning. I paid for my lessons, so well, usual story. So basic stuff is available on the internet almost everywhere. We are going to discuss rectangles, so some kind of the consolidation, break to the upside, break to the downside, flex and head and shoulders, but there are of course more and more. So if you like the video, then we can try to create part 2. Okay, let's start with the rectangles. All right, and I'm going to first describe what I'm looking for, and then we are going to try to find example or two. Okay, so when it comes to the rectangles, all right, what I like is the consolidation, and especially from the day trading perspective, we are talking about the Asian hours, and depends on the trend from the higher time frame. If it's a rising trend, right, and then we do have some kind of the consolidation during the Asian hours, I would like to see attempt to break to the downside with quick reversal, retest, continuation to the upside. With this type of the approach, I'm going with the trend from the higher time frame, all right? So I might try to be more aggressive. So once we back, I'm looking for immediately for the possibility to join the party. Hence, what is important, worth to mention, that in any case of the attempt of the break, right, 50% of that rectangle might also work as a supply already. That's what I have to be aware. So if you are a more conservative, then you may want to wait for this breakout to occur, right? But then you are taking 50% of that consolidation as your buying zone. So in that case, you are more conservative, but you are again trying to trade with the trend from the higher time frame. Usually, when we are talking about this type of the approach, in both cases, with the aggressive approach here and the conservative approach here, your stops are gonna be very, very tiny. What's gonna be your first target? Your first target is a double of the original Asian range, right? And then you are targeting the same size to the upside. Then depends on what kind of the trader you are. You may want to trail, you may want to watch the left side of the chart from the higher time frame perspective to check where is the next possible supply, where is the next possible resistance. Of course, it works similar when it comes to the falling trend, right? So that could be the day before, Asian consolidation, and in that case I would like to see attempt to break higher, immediately move down, retest top of that consolidation, continue lower, and that would be my aggressive target, doubling the range. You may want to wait, drew 50% of that, you may wanna wait for the retest as a conservative trader and then trying to follow the trend. So that's when it comes to the rectangles, right? Then I've mentioned about the flex, but before we start, let's have a look, and before we are going to go through the flex, let's check that consolidation. All right, there was a move to the upside. All right, so I've been looking for attempt to go lower with the stop count, and then I've been looking for the moment of the, or I was looking for a moment of the retest. That's the daily chart of the euro dollar. No rush. That's what I'm always pointing out. No rush. Wait for the prices to come to you. Really, it's working. And if you are patient, then okay, sometimes you are trading the less, but very often less is more. That's what we discussed quite a few times already. All right, so now let's have a look when it comes to the flag. In that case, I do prefer, when it comes to the twist, let's say that was the move to the upside, and we are flagging, right? We are flagging. I'm not gonna take the first attempt to break out of the flag, right? Because I'm usually looking for some kind of the stop count, right? So I would look for, especially in the FX market, I would look for the attempt to break higher, failure, hitting the stops below the bottom of the flag, and aggressive approach would be very similar to what we discussed when it comes to the rectangle, just the move back inside. And the conservative approach, that would be the breakout and then retest of the top of the flag and continue to the upside, right? And of course, very similar situation when it comes to the opposite. Market is going down. There is a fight. We are flagging. Attempt to break, failure, attempt to break, failure, quick move back, aggressive attempt, or conservative with the retest of the flag. All right, so let's have a look if we have something here. If there is some kind of the flag available here. Okay, so in that case, we can try to take it into the consideration what we have here. With the move higher, maybe I'm going to make it a little bit bigger to check and show you if there was at least attempt to make those false breaks, all right? Not to the downside just here, right? But that's what you should remember doing your own homework. So the conservative approach in that case was available, all right? In that case, break, retest, and then continue to the upside, of course, with the target somewhere around 1650. Again, that's the daily chart. Really, if you are trading short-term time frames, you are going to have all those examples almost each and every day. So that's the twist with the flag. I'm looking always for manipulation, so both sides stops are hit, then the next breakout or breakdown, depends on the direction, is what I'm going to take. And finally, head and shoulders, but I'm not gonna talk about the head and shoulder, how to trade it, because again, all of us know the head and shoulder pattern. We have something which was similar to head and shoulder over here, right? But what I'm gonna to talk, how to discover, how to react when there is a little bit of the failure, because again, you may want to trade head and shoulder pattern very aggressively. So in that case, you may want to, on that rally right here, without breaking the neckline, you may want to be much more aggressive. In that case, your stop is much smaller, because those guys who are taking the break to the downside, they've been hit hardly on this move higher. So how does it work when there is a failure, or how to discover the possible failure when it comes to the head and shoulders on the very early possible time, especially if you have some kind of the possible megaphone creation on the on that shoulder, right? When there is a formation creation and we are about to break. If you are going to spot the possibility of the megaphone formation, then most probably this head and shoulder is going to be broken to the upside. So instead of regular break to the downside from the head and shoulders, we are going to see something much higher. How to approach? You may want to approach basically very aggressive on the third touch on the bottom of the possible megaphone, and you may want to trade first towards the shoulder and then even higher. If you are a conservative trader, then what do? You are waiting for the shoulder break and the head break, all right? And once we are going to retest that level, okay, that's your entry point, not the head. The shoulder is your entry point. And what's about the target? Well, if you know how to measure the regular head and shoulder or inverted head and shoulder target, this way is very similar. We are looking and measuring from the top of the head, and that's our target. If we are going to hit the target immediately without the pullback for the conservative entry, I would skip this approach. Alright guys, it was my pleasure to talk about those three very popular trading chart patterns. I'm very happy that I was able to share with some twists. Again, do your own research, do your own homework, and keep asking if you have questions. With that being said, wish you great trading day. See you around. Take care and goodbye.